This too. I'm in apartments with Parlay. Meet me in apartments. Woo!
Hey, Parlay. Meet me at the apartment.
Yo, this your boy Parlay. And we in the apartment with Parlay. Meet me in the apartments. Hey, y'all already know. I love my city. Special thing happened here. I say it all the time. And the reason I say that so much is, for one, I'm really from here. You know what I'm saying? I seen the city change. I seen what it became. I seen what it was. You know what I'm saying? I experienced living on different parts of town. You know what I'm saying? And I played a major part in building the culture here. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's a lot of people move to Atlanta, and then they make a living in Atlanta. And when you make a living in Atlanta and you get known for being in Atlanta, then you from Atlanta.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I always just like to touch on that for that aspect. And then the other aspect is, because 9 times out of 10, most of the artists and the people that I have on the show has some type of connection to Atlanta.
Right.
And I think that is special. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I love more than Atlanta is the west side of Atlanta. You got to know that. Shout out to Boy Home, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bankhead. Rest easy, shout out low. Rest easy, we fly, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Rest easy, all the fallen soldiers. This one right here, it's a little different. You can walk. Just don't walk in front of the camera. Yep. Welcome to the apartment.
Welcome to the apartment.
My next guest, it's a little different for me because of the connection and the history. You know how you ever met somebody and you meet them from doing one thing and they're great at it, and then you start talking to them and you find out that they do this, then they do this, then they do this, then they do this, and then they do all of it great, and not just great, like they big and all that shit. And you ever met somebody like that you had a connection to, but didn't know you have a connection to? So a few years ago, it's probably not a few years ago. It's probably about 7, 8 years ago. Yeah, about 7, 8 years ago, I was getting into youth football. I just got into it, and then I'm hearing everybody like, you gotta have track. If your kid don't got track in football, then your kid ain't gonna make it. So I'm looking at, I'm paying attention. I'm looking at all the fast kids really get the scholarship. So I'm like, I'm gonna put my son in track because my son was fast. So in Atlanta, when you got a good kid and you looking to put him in something, you have to be real careful where you place him. You know what I'm saying? And when you do, 9 times out of 10, it has a lot to do with character, and it has something to do with build. How do this program build my kid, and what type of character? You see what I'm saying? And I'm the type of person that's really big to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm searching around. They're like, you need to take them to this program. So take them to the program. First thing you do is you pull up whoever program it is, you look them up, you start looking at all they shit. You know what I'm saying? And in the track world, like Facebook and Twitter is like real big. That's when you get a chance to really find out. So I'm looking at the list. Where I'm looking at him, I'm checking the stuff out. Oh, these kids, oh man, that national, oh yeah, all this. So I'm looking at it. So you know how you go, you look at the photos and it says people. So I'm seeing names of people who I know, who I'm kin to, and I'm like, T9, that my cousin. So I call my cousin like, hey, who it is right here with these names? It can't be no coincidence. You know what I'm saying? They like, nah, they woot. I'm like, they like, that's your cousin. I'm like, that's my cousin. They like, yeah. I'm like, how the hell I ain't never seen him before then? They was just like, because this they explained. I was like, wow. And this ended up being the track program. So, and the track program was Track Georgia. So I ended up meeting them, and just great energy. You know what I'm saying? Great positive energy. It's hard to meet people who has a positive outlook on shit all the time, especially people who are really from the city. That's very rare. You know what I'm saying? And it's really contagious. You know what I'm saying? And so when I got a chance to talk to him, we started talking. He said, I did this, and I did this, and I did this. And I'm like, bro, we really been around each other like for 20 years straight. in the same rooms and all that, and never knew what the hell was going on now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fast forward, I'm getting everything together, and he took a business class, so he really business minded. So he's like, hey man, I want to help you get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? As far as your podcast, your vision, everything you got going on, your movies and all that. You know what I'm saying? And he was really saying stuff, and it made it easy for me to understand without being hard. You know what I'm saying? And today we have built a real great relationship, friendship, businessship. That's word.
It's a word today.
Huh?
It's one today. You know what I mean? We're in the apartment. We're at home.
Hey, you talking about, man, business
ship.
ship, man. I like to welcome motherfucking Javi, motherfucking Mr. Goddamn Louie, goddamn Coach Sweet, motherfucking To himself to the motherfucking apartment, man.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, you talking about, man?
Apartment, pulled up, got something to eat. You know what I mean? Got
about?
something to drink. You know what I mean? Went to the back, took a nap, and we back right here.
And we back. Hey, you talking about,
right
dog?
Hey, man.
Hell of a motherfucking journey, man.
Yeah, man. Hell of a journey, man.
It's a pleasure to share the platform with people like you, because I always want to make sure that everything I'm doing it ain't just hip hop, rap, hip hop, rap, culture. Because I feel like the culture will connect us. The reason the culture connects us is because all of us are from it,
right,
in some type of shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
Whether you experienced it, whether you seen it, whether you participated in it, you know what I'm saying? It affects you in some type of way. But I always feel like it's a bigger purpose than connections. You know what I'm saying? You meet somebody from your high school basketball team, and then next thing you know, y'all real good friends, and he go on, you don't see him in 5 years, you get back together, now he do this, and you been wanting to do it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I really feel like the stuff that you have been through, how you fought it, adversity, have you overcame adversity, how you use your own trials and tribulations for building blocks. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to do that with a mind frame and a focus that people don't have without a lot of help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Usually when people go through that stuff, a lot of stuff, and navigate through life that much, it's always somebody saying, well, if they don't work, you need to try this. If they don't work, you need to try this. Well, you need to do this. You know, little Susan May, she had a job over here. You might go, you go do this. People who really don't have that, not a lot of times, get stagnant. Right. You know what I'm saying? They try 1, 2 things. If it don't work, they should be like, well, man, shit, man, they just, you know, that's what I'm supposed to do. Then I figured out. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I just think your story is special for everybody who's watching. You know what I'm saying? So let's start back to where you from and what side of town you grew up on, and some of your influences, so, preteen.
Originally, you know what I mean, graded baby, born, Perry home, stayed there a couple of years. We moved to Glenwood Road. You know, everybody was trying to move on up to the east side. They felt like it was a better place at the time, you know what I mean? So moved to the east side, moved to Glenwood, stayed on Glenwood. So I was always either on Glenwood or Mason Ave, one or the other, you know what I mean? So that was just like where I was from, you know what I mean? So took really heed to, you know, being from the east side. I really, back then it wasn't really a thing, east side, west side. It was just, we from Atlanta, whatever, you know, but I guess going up in like middle school, you start seeing like, all right, we from the west side. We from the east side. So we like, all right, cool. I was just like, hey, my brother them from the west side, my sister them from the west side. I'm just here. I'm in Atlanta. You know what I mean? If I got to roll with my boys today, we east side, you know what I mean? But more importantly, we Glenwood Road, you know what I mean? That was more so my stomping ground, you know what I mean? So that's how that was, you know what I mean? I grew up playing sports, of course, you know what I mean?
What little league you played for?
I started at, my first start was at baseball. It was at Shoal Creek on Glenwood. That was like, you either played at Shoal Creek, Glenwood, Hills, or Midway on my side of Glenwood. And
Midway was shit back then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I ended up going to Shoal Creek for baseball. Played with a lot of niggas who went to the league. Then I ended up playing football for Midway.
You gotta go midway.
Gotta go midway.
But nigga, hey, if you play football back then on the East, but yeah, if you good, boy, you gonna end up going to play for midway.
Exactly. So play for midway. You know what I mean? Won a championship. You know what I mean? And
what position you played?
At that time, I just played running back and safety. That's all I played.
Any notable people played on them team that people might know now?
Yeah, Travis Jones, who played for the Braves. Deontay Heath, who played for the Braves and the White Sox. Harris. Harris that played for the Cowboys, wide receiver.
He played baseball with y'all too?
Mm-hmm, football.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baseball, PJ Phillips and Brandon Phillips, they both played with us down there. Stantrell Smith, who got drafted to the Angels, he was on our team. Man, there was a lot of them boys, man, playing baseball. I think it was like off our team, it was like 8 people got drafted. Yeah. So like they came out the hood, you know what I mean? They definitely did.
Okay, so all this time you're on Glenwood, you're playing these sports. Behind the scenes of the sports, as far as mental and focus, what type of things were influencing you? And what I mean when I say that is, I mean like influence, whether it was in a good way or a bad way. Because I just be trying to paint the picture for all the viewers, how people come up and how they overcome their situations. Yeah. And I think understanding somebody's mind focus and what they was going through really helps you understand the person. If you understand the person, then you understand their why. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, like usually people, you see something, you like, oh yeah, I want to do that. Or no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Nah, they're real. I think for me, like, just as soon as I hit kindergarten, for some reason, like, I was just popular as hell as soon as I hit kindergarten. And I don't know if it was my nickname, being too sweet, and all the teachers just called me by that, you know what I mean? So I don't know if it was just that they got the word out, you know what I mean? I don't know if it was just skating all the time, you know what I mean, and people following me from skating. But
it's just the it, dog.
It was just
the it factor, dog.
It was just that from kindergarten, you know what I mean? Like, just being, like, my mom used to be like, man, all these girls keep coming to get you from the house. Like, what y'all doing, man? I'm like, man, I don't even know yet. Man, that was like kindergarten, you know what I mean? Like, it was just always that. And all the older kids in the neighborhood always came and got me, like, and I was always trying to compete. Like, I remember one time, I was just talking about it. My sister then was like, you know, we were playing hide and go seek.
How old you were?
I was about 6,
okay.
6, 7. And they were like, shit, you can't play, you too young. I said, well, shit, just give me one opportunity. I said, give me one opportunity. If y'all catch me one time, I won't never play with y'all again. And they all 14. They like 14, 15 at the time. I was like, just give me a shot. Shoot, everybody went and ran. I went and hid. Shoot, man, I ain't never come out. They had to call the police. They had the helicopters around there, everything.
What the hell you hid at?
Because I hid directly where I knew they wouldn't look. I hid right in front of them, under the car, right in front of the base. And I was there so long I fell asleep.
Up under the car?
Under the car. The whole time.
By the curb?
By the curb.
I think it's got to be.
By the curb.
It had to be. Behind the tire. You were by the curb, behind the tire.
Just chilling.
You lay long way, too.
Exactly. The whole time. And from that moment on, you know what I mean, they were like, shoot, you know, we don't want to play with you. You going to take it too serious. But I just wanted my respect. And at the same time, you want the opportunity. Just give me the opportunity to play in the game, to be in the game, to even get the opportunity. Because y'all supposed to be you look up to the older kids, you know what I mean, in the hood. So you want to be like them. So that's how I took it. Like, if you're going to give me a shot at it, I need to be the best. And that's the same thing with football.
Let me ask you this. Hold on. Did you know where you were going to hide it, or did you just come up with it?
I just came up with it. I had to make sure that it was going to be somewhere they weren't going to see me. They weren't going to run. I knew at the time they were probably faster than me because they were older. So I was like, look, I got to outthink them. You know what I mean? I got to outthink them. You know what I mean? At a young age, like, I got to really do that. So I just hid. You know what I mean? I ain't come out for nobody. My mama, nobody, till they were like, you know, you could come out, you win the game. And I ran out and touched the base. I ran out, touched the base, like, hey, I'm here. Police looking like, what? what the hell going on? But yeah, so that was you know what I mean, that's how I grew up, trying to just always compete and be the best version of yourself you can be.
Did you play sports year round?
Yeah, I played sports year round, man. And it's so crazy because my mama couldn't afford sports. So that was another thing. Like my first time playing baseball at Shoal Creek, I was just practicing on the field at Snapfinger where we went to school at. And Chris Tucker rolled by, seen it because I didn't even know he went to Snapfinger, Columbia, none of that stuff. At the time I was young, I didn't know who he was really at that time. But he rolled by and said, you know, what you doing? I'm like, I want to play baseball. I was just practicing just in case I get a chance to play. And he rolled up the street, paid for my tuition or whatever to play. And he just told me to tell my mom to go up there the next day.
Oh, that's too hard, man.
Yeah, so
shout out to Chris Tucker, man.
Yeah, so he the one who got me my first opportunity to play baseball, and shit. After then, like, you just got to be the best nigga. You know what I mean? You got to be the best because I knew my mama couldn't afford it. So at the same time, it's like I got to be better than everybody. So I ain't got to pay for it. Once I found out somebody could pay for it, once you find out somebody could pay for it for you, you know what I mean? Your mama ain't got to do it. Like, anybody can pay for it. Like, cause you know, when you're young, you feel like you can't do nothing unless your parents pay for it. You don't even know about nobody else paying for nothing. You know what I mean? Either y'all can do it or you can't. So once I figured out, oh man, I just gotta be better than everybody else. Oh man, it's on the piping. I took that from football to track to basketball. You know what I mean? All that. Like,
what was your first year running track?
My first year running track was I was 10. I was 10 my first year running track, and people and I ran long distance. Like I ran for a team who the coach, like, I came late, and the coach was like, he already had everything situated. He had a relay situated, had all the stuff situated. He was like just run one day at practice, and he let me run. I ran like 22 laps. And I ain't even stop. You know what I mean? It's my first day. Come from the hood. So if he gave me an opportunity,
you ran 22 400s?
Just 22, just running. Cause I just wanted the shot, and I knew that at the same time, like,
hold on, dog. You ran 22 400s.
22.
What is that?
Man, it was, shoot, at the time. What is that? That's like,
what they call them races you had downtown on Peachtree?
16.
Huh?
That 5.5 miles.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Man, you did the Peachtree Road Race.
For real.
That nigga did the Peachtree Road Race, for real.
For real. I did, man.
He made you stop.
He just told me to stop. I think he forgot I was running. He was at practice. He was like, hey, that boy still running. You know what I mean? And at that moment, he put me in long distance. So, you know what I mean? I ran all the long distance races. But I kept telling him, I was like, man, I'm faster than all these kids. You know what I mean? But he wouldn't listen. I was just a kid. So I just was grateful to be on the team. And I ran with some real dogs. You know what I mean? I ran with some serious dogs. So I understood. You know what I mean? So ran long distance. And then I think about
Bust the ass.
Went to
had that shit in there, man. Listen, yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna tell y'all something too. He too very humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, he very humble. Fuck that shit. We in the Partment. Pop shit today. Leave that shit in the Partment, dog.
Oh man, yeah, man. So I won nationals and shit, man. 1600, 800.
So he never gave you no chance to race them niggas.
Never gave you no chance to be on no relay, no nothing. You know what I mean? That came after I went to 8th grade. So when I went to
what track program it was?
It was Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Yeah. So I ran with like D.D. Trotter. It was a lot of people who ended up winning gold medals at that time. D.D. Trotter, Michael Grant. Who else was on my team? And if y'all don't know, Michael Grant was the first person that beat Usain Bolt. You know what I mean? That's why Usain Bolt got the trainer. You know what I mean? And got all that extra attention because Mike beat him. Mike was the #1 athlete in the world. Well, supposed to be the #1 track star in the world coming up. But yeah.
Okay, so listen, before we go, let me just bring everybody up to date. All right. The shit you were talking about earlier when you were explaining, I said it's called the it factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some people just got it. And it ain't got it. No, you got it. The capital T. So before you really goddamn get a fucking teenager, you done played with 4 niggas who done went to the fucking Major Leagues Baseball. You done played with fucking 4 niggas who done went to the NFL. You done played with fucking 3 niggas who done won Olympic gold medals, and one of these niggas beat Usain Bolt. All before, and goddamn got your baseball paid for by fucking Chris Tucker, nigga. All before you was motherfucking 13. That shit just called the it.
That's crazy.
Pop your shit today, dog. Yeah, pop your shit today, man. Yeah, man, pop your shit today, man.
And I guess you don't even think. I guess putting it in context, you don't even think about it growing up. You know what I mean? You just trying to survive. You trying to just play. You know what I mean? Get the opportunity to play, dress fresh. You know what I mean? And talk to some girls. You know what I mean? I wasn't really thinking about nothing but those things. You know what I mean? But you know, from that sports stuff. You know, like, as soon as I got in high school, I guess, because on the east side, we went to high school from 8th through 12th grade. So, well, I left Midway. First off, I left Midway. Midway took me to Central DeKalb. My coach took me to Central DeKalb to play. When I got to Central DeKalb, it was like newspapers there.
Okay, was it for football, for baseball, track?
It was for football.
Football, okay.
So soon, my first day of practice, I'm getting interviewed by the AJC. I'm getting like all kind of stuff. And I don't really know. I'm just like, I'm chilling in the cut. You know, they taking pictures, all this stuff. So I'm like, whatever. I go through my first little season at Central DeKalb. My coach leave. Like, my coach he tell me my coach was like, I'll be back. This other coach gonna take you to practice tomorrow. Uh-huh. And I see you later. I never seen that coach again.
Still to this day?
To the day I did. I recently seen him, and I kind of went off on him. Because he was like my only coach I ever had in football, and he just let me stay over his house. You know what I mean? He was like, he made sure I was straight. So it was kind of crazy, you know what I mean, to me, because I'm like, that kind of like
abandonment.
Figure, you know what I mean? That was my first bout with abandonment. You know what I mean? Because it was like a father figure who like, hey, I done took you to the championship. I done did everything I was supposed to do as a young man, and you just left me. So I'm like, what the hell going on? So did that. But what happened was when I went to started high school, I get to the high school, I'm already in the papers, right? I'm not playing for the high school. I ain't even know nothing about. I'm just doing registration regular. You know what I mean? I don't know. Nobody ain't teaching me to go to talk to the high school coach and that. So, you know, everybody like just coming to me like, boy, you in the papers, this. Oh man, you going to the school? And I'm just like, you know, I'm going back to practice. I don't know nothing about this school like that. Like, I just want to hang with my friends. So I was already getting like notoriety at that point. And then I finally, like that year, then my 9th grade year, I finally got my chance to play high school and rec ball because I was still young. Like when I was first getting to high school, what people don't realize, I was like 12.
Shit. No.
Yeah. So I was like 12, turning 13 when I was in high school. So for me, like, people didn't realize I was young because I was just so good at it. You know what I mean? But I was always just the youngest person on the team. You know what I mean? So people be like, when I look back, they were like, oh, he was timid or he was that. I was like, really? He was way older than me. I just didn't you know what I mean? I just didn't have that. If I had somebody that training me or doing something, most of everything I had was just natural.
You gonna jot your ass down right now.
You know what I mean?
You playing in Atlanta right now, nigga.
Exactly.
Nigga saying, shit, me, that nigga playing 12 when your birthday after July? Or you playing 12 you?
Exactly.
Nigga would have been in high school playing 12 you.
That
shit, could you imagine that? Could you imagine that shit now? The hell no, that nigga had 12 you old. He in high school.
But that's exactly what, and like I felt like what happened because like I'll go play niggas in park ball, and they be like, bruh, that nigga at the high school somewhere, or that, you know what I mean? Like they was saying, and I'm like, bruh, I'm just this age, you know what I mean? I ain't really realized that all these niggas ain't in my grade. Yeah. You know what I mean? I ain't pay no attention to it. I knew my friends who played with me that was in my school, they were playing older than me all my life anyway. So I was like, it wasn't nothing different for me. Because
you play older too. So
yeah, so it was like, it wasn't nothing different. But that last year I played Park, when it was just, I guess.
Who you played for?
Central DeKalb. Like that last year I played Park, that's when like.
Who y'all played in championship?
We played North Clay.
What is it, 12U?
No, it was 14. Mm-hmm.
No, y'all played North Clay?
Yep. Played North Clay.
What league it was in?
That was what was that? It was the Bobby Dodd Bowl. So,
The what?
That was the Bobby Dodd Bowl. So,
I don't even know what the hell that is, boy.
Yeah. So
you know the Bobby Dodd Bowl
is? That was like the league with like Gresham, North Clayton, North DeKalb, Tucker went in no more. Midway, Glenwood, Scottsdale. Like, it was all them leagues. I don't remember the league.
Scottsdale Steelers.
Yeah, Scottsdale Steelers. Yeah, like all them was in that league, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I ain't know nothing about none of that.
Yeah, man.
As far as I knew, Bessie Brandon.
Yeah. But see, they came and took me 1 year from there.
You played for Bessie Brandon too?
Nah, I ended up playing for what was that out Jonesboro Road? We were black and white. What was that place? Where y'all play softball at? Southside.
What the team was?
I'm trying to think of the team. Cause they came and kidnapped me. They came and kidnapped me when I moved to Cleveland.
I don't know nothing about none of that thing. I just knew Ben Hill.
Yeah, but it was an Atlanta team. It was Atlanta city Atlanta team at the time. We were good too. Huh? No, it
wasn't Empire Park.
I gotta remember the name. I only played for them for a little while. Yeah, man. But yeah, that was cool, man.
Boom. Now you're in 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in high school. What is your transition now?
So now it's high school. You know, start playing high school ball, playing park ball. Still doing both at the same time. Cause I'm young enough to play park ball. So doing both at the same time. High school team go to the playoff for the first time.
You're in 9th grade, 12 years old.
9th grade, playing running back. Shoot, just doing what I know the best. You know what I mean? My first coach.
That's a movie. That's what you think about that shit for real, bro. Shit, like, you know, back then, kid, we were tough as hell.
Yeah.
But you put a 12-year-old right now and get some niggas in the 9th grade.
Right.
I be looking at him, I be like, bro, no.
Yeah.
No. You was 12, turning 30. That's crazy.
And I ain't realized to the end of high school, I don't think. You know what I mean? I ain't realized to the end of high school, but
what made you really realize it? Like what incident was it?
When they started recruiting, so when they started recruiting, so by this time I had went to 4 high school because, you know, with me not having nobody to really have no say so, coaches used to just, all right, tell my mama like, all right, look, he going to Southwest this year. You know what I mean? So I went to Southwest to camp. All right, I'm leaving now. He going to Steve's. You know what I mean? Get caught going to Stevenson. Now you going back to Towel.
How you get caught at Stevenson?
That was the first time I was getting ranked. You know what I mean? First time getting ranked. And then
so that nigga stay out the zone.
Yeah, stay out the zone.
Goddamn, drop the dime on you then.
Drop the dime ASAP.
Ooh, them niggas don't bullshit with that, especially the DeKalb County.
Exactly. They don't play. So they took me right back to Towel. But then when I was enrolled in Towel, they told me I went in the district. So I had to go to Columbia. So I was like, oh, hell no. Because to me, standing on Glenwood, Columbia, they had, I guess they were a little, I felt like they weren't as hood as Towers, you know what I mean? Like, Towers were more gritty, grimy, you know what I mean? We was apartments right there, you know what I mean? So everybody walked to school. Like, Columbia to me was like a little more polished side. Everybody stayed in the houses and all that stuff. So I was
supposed to go there too.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to go to Columbia. I didn't, but it turned out for the best. You know what I mean? It definitely turned out for the best. But during that time, my senior year, so when I got to Columbia, the coach, the offensive coordinator, the nigga just didn't like me. He didn't like me at all. He told me, but you're not touching my ball. You're not playing offense. You're not, like, nothing you could do. You overrated. You're not playing with me. And I was just like, all right, let's just play defense. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing. I was playing defense. And then I get like 2 carries a game. Like, that put me in. I only got like 2 carries a game. But each carry, I was averaging like 45 yards a carry. You know what I mean? So I was averaging like 90-some yards a game. But I only got 2 carries. But I had 2 backs in front of me that was the real deal, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, them niggas were bigger than me. They were older than me. You know what I mean? Like, both of them had over 100 yards a game. You know what I mean? So I understood, you know what I mean, why they was in front of me or whatever. But, you know, when it came time for recruiting, I was like, every time somebody was coming up, nobody was talking to me. Nobody. So I was like, man, this is kind of crazy. Like, what's going on? So what I started doing was me just being just smart or figuring out. I started going on all the college websites, seeing what was the requirements, and then I started filling out all the questionnaires. So with me filling out all the questionnaires, I made a list, printed out, made a list of 100, like it was like 118 D1 schools, and I printed it all out, and I contacted each one of them myself as my parents though. You know what I mean? I made my own email, sent all my highlight tapes, everything, each one myself. And just so happened, you know, my god brother them, they was still at Stevenson getting all their recruiting stuff. So he just started like telling the coaches like, hey, I want him to come on these trips, you know what I mean, and all this stuff. So they started contacting me to schedule my recruiting visits and stuff like that. So I worked the system by myself basically, you know what I mean. I ended up working the system and ended up getting a few offers. Well, I got a lot of offers, but getting a few offers and yeah, man. Went there.
Yeah, I got a lot of offers. Don't go say I got a lot, then go back to I got a few. Don't say I got a few now. Well, I got a lot. Well, I got a few offers. No, you got a lot of offers.
Yeah.
You got all. That's the it. That's the it. That's all. And through all this, to any kids watching, the most important part, what I want y'all to understand is pay attention to the ambition. Pay attention to the ambition. Your ambition is your drive. You know what I'm saying? Right. And a lot of these kids be gifted, but they don't have the ambition. Because these times, it's the times. It's everything has. There ain't no one particular thing. Kids back then, just mentally we were just stronger. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have all this social media, the gauge, oh, what he doing? And what he doing? Nah, it's just what we're doing, Exactly. You couldn't tell. Could nobody tell you back that you wasn't the fastest nigga in the hood? Right. You could have went to any project. You'd have said, oh, you fast? Who the fastest? Come on, let's race.
Line up.
And it was everybody back then. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now these kids be like, man, I'm fast. I ain't finna race you, bro. We're gonna have to go to the track. We're gonna have to go to the money. Back then, you should be like, I'm faster than you, and we racing. Yeah. I can jump higher than you. Let's go to the basketball court right now. You know what I'm saying?
I shoot better. We're putting the dollar down, whatever.
Facts. And I think ambition is what drives people to be better. Right. Because if I'm ambitious enough and you better than me, I'm going to say, you can't be better than me, so I'm going to focus and work on everything I need to do to be better than you. And if you keep being better than me, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to have something to keep working at. Right. Until I get better. Right. You see what I'm saying? And I think, I just want to say that part, so stay ambitious. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's real. Nah, that's real, kid. Y'all definitely do. Because that definitely is a determining factor in how far you can go, too. You know what I mean? With that ambition. Because even going, you know, because by the time I was going to college, that's when we got into like rapping. You know what I mean? I guess in high school.
So what you end up going to?
I ended up originally I ended up going to picking to go to USC, and then.
What made you want to go all the way out there?
Cause it seemed like nobody wasn't paying me no attention.
Oh, okay. So you just wanted to get the hell away?
Yeah, I just wanted to get away. You know what I mean? I just felt like what's and they wouldn't. It's so crazy because that was a school I didn't take a visit to. You know what I mean? Like I went to Tennessee, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Florida State. I ain't go to USC. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wanted to do something out the whole box. Like it seemed like everybody was just knowing what I was gonna do. So I was just like, but y'all know nothing. Y'all know nothing. But I'm getting out of here, Jack. Like it's gone. And I did that, but then my mama flipped. She flipped. And like, you know, she just was like, you know, so we had to go through a whole thing of.
So you had to decommit?
Decommit. Now I signed, so I had to go through the NCAA stuff and, you know, prove a reason why I couldn't go that far and all that stuff. And then at that time, that would kind of like, this would kind of mess me up because at that time, like, everybody had gave out all their scholarship. Everybody gave out their scholarship by the time the end of the summer was coming. I mean, it was like end of the school year. So I was just like, all right, what I'm going to do? But luckily, a track scholarship opened up at Florida State. So I ended up taking that scholarship with the promise that I could play football, you know what I mean? And that ended up being a whole struggle in college too, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't want me to play football.
Well, I tell you if they ain't going to let you do it.
Exactly. That means
they just want you there.
You busting ass.
You busting ass.
They just want you there. They just want you they want to control you. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter what they tell you. They just want you in their system. You know what I mean? And that's the key. You know, they going to tell you whatever it take to get you there. You know what I mean?
So you never got a chance to play football down there?
Yeah, I did. I got a chance to play football, but it was like they made me play cornerback. I didn't play corner in high school. I never played corner ever, really, just being honest. So I was at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Like, you got niggas who train for this their whole life. They daddy training them. They got trainers, you know what I mean? And nigga, that's the school of Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, DBs come there for fun. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do, and I wasn't that. You know what I mean? Just being honest, I wasn't that, bro. I was just an athlete. You could put me anywhere, I could make something happen, but I wasn't like just a general corner. And
you'd rather play offense?
I'd rather play offense or safety. You know what I mean? I'd rather be in a safety, because that's what I was good at. You know what I mean? Like, that was just my thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it was just like that. So I ain't really getting no playing time. I was struggling with, like, at this time I already had like a music thing going on.
How you started your music stuff?
Man, so we used to dance. Everybody used to dance, tick, all that stuff back in high school. And we had ended up putting like a little group together that from all the boys used to hang around called MPG. And
yeah, get a shout out to everybody who's in MPG.
Exactly, man. Shout out to everybody in MPG, man. It was a lot of us, man. It was like 8 of us, man. And that was really cool, man. And but it turned to a rap group. And one day everybody was rapping and stuff, and we was like, we're gonna rank all the rappers. So
in the group,
we're gonna rank the rappers. So we're gonna rank the rapper. I was like number 7 out of 8. I was like, but I suck. This ain't my thing. You know what I mean? But we a part of the group. I gotta do what the group do. You know, so I was like, this ain't me. But MP ended up turning to a rap group, and he wasn't even the best artist in the group. I won't say, but one of the top artists in the group. We ended up doing a talent show, and at that talent show they won. And
what the talent show was at?
Columbia High School. So Columbia used to have really, really big talent shows. You know what I mean? Real big talent show. Everybody used to come there. And yeah, so we had this talent show, and it was Rara, who known as Young Capone, Tenarius, who's T-Rock, and the third one, I can't remember his name all of a sudden. But they performed at the talent show. As soon as they performed, everybody went crazy. Greg Street wanted to sign them, you know what I mean, off rip, you know what I mean, and that was just the transition to music, you know what I mean. That was the first time it kind of seemed like it was possible, you know what I mean. So, ended up like getting hooked up. One of the girls I used to talk to was actually, her sister was talking to Nitty at the time, and I guess she was talking about it, and Nitty heard. Nitty was like, man, I got to meet them, you know what I mean? And they set up the meeting, you know what I mean? Nitty, Ian Burt, set up the meeting to sign Playmaker Music, So Def. And
how old this was your senior year? Your senior year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was the year. It was my senior year going into my freshman year of college, so, you know what I mean? So that was the whole thing. So in the back of my head, when I'm down there, I'm like, well, I'm here for too, you know what I mean? Because we like, the music is finna blow up, you know what I mean? So it's like, just that constant struggle, like, what you're supposed to be doing, what you want to do, what's your purpose, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I was having people come down to the college to see me. It wasn't nothing like that. So really, I just started, like, the more and more I was in Florida, I was just starting to feel like, bro, what am I here for? Like, nobody care. I'm grown. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody, you know, like in high school, somebody be like, what's your grades? You know what I mean? Or whatever. In college, they don't care. You know what I mean? They ain't saying nothing about it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I started noticing that. I was like, man, what the hell I'm here for? You know what I mean? That, cause it seemed like, you know, during high school and stuff, you kind of get that extra battery when you know people care. You know what I mean? In college, I didn't feel like nobody cared, so I started losing care about the sports and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I was just kind of focused on like, well, we can get some money. You know what I mean? Like, let's do these shows, let's do this, let's go around this road, let's figure this out.
What year did you come out college?
05.
What year that was? Your junior year, sophomore year?
That was my sophomore year. I mean, it would have been football-wise my sophomore year. School-wise, it was my senior year because I had did a program. I had did an associate program in high school. So I had got my associates in computer engineering while I was in high school.
No, he ain't say shit about that, all that shit.
Yeah.
Man, he gonna talk about Trey Tucker. Nigga said, he ain't say nothing about no, oh yeah, why hell everybody was hating on me. I'm going to this high school and this high school. Nigga, I got me a associate degree.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to. I had got put in a program called 100 Black Men of America, or the DeKalb County chapter, which is great. You know what I mean? Because they gave when I finished that program, they gave me a scholarship to any black college in the United States. So I can go to any black college, free tuition in the United States. You know what I mean? Which sometimes I feel like I should have went to a black college, you know. But, you know, as an athlete, you just think about D1. That's all you care about. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't care about whatever else going on, you know, the way to the league or wherever else until Division I. You know what
Especially
I mean?
Back then.
Yeah, and you don't got no guidance. Like, even though I had guidance in that, like, 100 Black Men didn't guide me in sports. Like, they only thought about business. You know what I mean? So I got to see that business acumen and stuff like that of black men doing stuff, which I never really seen, because all I seen was black hustlers, like, or black workers. You know what I mean? Like, my dad was a career guy. You know what I mean? He worked. You know what I mean? So he worked so much we ain't see him, but on the weekends or whatnot. So that was that kind of thing. But yeah, man. So it was 2005. I came out and then left there. Decided to give it left there. My mom was sick. I came home. And I was working at Athlete's Foot. Shout out to Isom Lowman, who gave me a job at Athlete's Foot. And I was working there, and I met a coach who was like, man, you too good to not be playing. Like, you should be playing somewhere. So he kind of like, you know what I mean, took me under his wing to like get me in school. And I ended up at Georgia Tech. Was at Georgia Tech, trying to play football, run track. And then had a meeting, you know, went to practice, did all this stuff. But they didn't clear me with the NCAA. You know what I mean? I didn't get cleared with the NCAA. So I was just like, after a while, you know, you get tired of like just sitting on the sideline, chilling, doing all. So back again, I'm like, hey, music. Because at this time,
it popping in the city.
Yeah,
2005, 2006, it lit in the city.
It's lit. So, you know.
They slanging deals at this time.
You
get a deal, you get a deal, you get a deal, you get a deal.
Exactly. So that's how I was. I was like, bro, like, you know, I wasn't sold in sports. I wasn't sold in music. But I was just like, but I just got to get in. You know what I mean? I'm already in. You know what I mean? I'm interning at So Deaf. I'm getting paid under the table for being a rep at So Deaf. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing, you know, label repping when we go on the road and all this stuff. So I'm like, bro, this is money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the career is. You know what I mean? I don't know what all the positions in the music industry is, but I know this money.
This is the money.
This is money, so I got to go with the money, you know? And then I think at that time, you know, when I first got back home, my brother was down the road, and
shout out to that boy Chi.
Shout out to my brother Chi, man. He was down the road, and then my second year at Georgia Tech, he got out. And that time I was like, let me get this thing. One more shot. You know what I mean? Sports, one more shot. So I ended up going to Texas. Training, signed a little bull junk contract. Wasn't no money, really, like $45,000. Stayed in Texas for a little while. It didn't work out. It was right before the 2008 Olympics. You know what I mean? Got hurt. You know what I mean? That was like the end of the dream. Like,
what position had you playing at Texas?
No, I was running track.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was running track, and that was like I got hurt, and that was like the end of the dream. And I was like came back home, and the funny thing is when I came back home, I didn't tell nobody I was coming, so I was just going to my house or whatever regular. Get to the house, I'm evicted from the house. I didn't even know it was an eviction. Like, my little brother done did something in the complex and got us evicted from the house. And I'm just like, oh, man, like, where am I going to go? You know what I mean? So I end up going to stay. I ended up going to stay with this girl because I didn't really want to tell nobody. I was a little depressed, you know what I mean? Because I didn't reach what I wanted to reach, and I ended up staying with this girl, and that didn't go right because at the time I was actually celibate. At that time, I was celibate, and she always
hold on. You said it 2 times. I processed it the right time. Both times you said the shit. But I'm saying it to myself, so it took me a second to respond for a second. You was pressing, why?
Because I knew it was my last shot in sports. And I knew, like, what that did to my legs and stuff while I was running. So I really wanted to, like, I kind of had, like, a covenant with God and was like, look, give me the full opportunity. And I promise, you know what I mean, I'm going to just focus on you and this at the time, you know what I mean? So I kind of chose to, like, just give it my all in my last shot, you know what I mean? So that's what I did. So it messed up my relationship. I had a girlfriend at that time. She went with it, you know what I mean? She went with it. She wanted me to, like, just do music, stay in the studio, do all this stuff. So me and her ended up breaking up, you know what I mean? And, yeah, when I came back, I was staying with a girl, and she wasn't with it neither. You see what I'm saying?
But
like,
you wasn't doing sports no more, though.
No, I wasn't. But my mind frame was still at, like, what am I?
I'm just trying. Don't mind me.
You
fine.
No, you good. No, my mind frame at that time was like, what am I having sex for too? You know what I mean? Like, I was really like, none of this shit. Like, I'm not getting a benefit from none of this shit at the time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's valuable to my lifestyle or valuable to me. I just started trying to process and question everything because really, I mean, just truthfully, I used to have sex for sport. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up having sex for sport. You know what I mean? Just being honest, I learned how to have. I was exposed to sex at a very young age, and that I was probably I know I was the first out of any of my friends, and so I was able to teach all them, and I think it became more so like just something to do. And it wasn't no reason to do it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like, what the hell am I doing it for?
You strong-minded to be how you were, like 20?
Yeah, I was about 20 I was about 20, 21 at this time.
Yeah, you very, very strong-minded. Man, these little 21, whoa, my God. God, shit. Huh? What? Shit, fuck rabbits. You gotta come up with some more shit. But these young niggas got there going around that motherfucker, man. These young niggas ain't bullshit, man.
Nah, they ain't. And they, like I said, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, they know. You know what I mean? Everybody in my hood know what was going on with me. You know what I mean? So I was just the same. I was just the same way. You know what I mean? I went. But
you had a purpose, bro.
Yeah.
Like I told you, got the it.
Um,
So your visions and everything you process shit in a different way. You know what I'm saying? It's like having a car, dog. All cars ain't special. You know what I'm saying? Would you get that one special shit and it operates different and give a fuck how this go? This just operate different. This what it is like that. Like a fucking what they call that shit you pipe the oil up with at the ground. What's the name of it?
Like
a what?
Like a hydraulic pump.
Yeah, the hydraulic. It's a hydraulic, but it got a name, don't it?
Yeah. It's,
but whatever.
Like a whale.
Yeah, but they've been using that same motherfucking shit for 1,000 years, bro.
Yeah.
You know why? Because this shit work how it work. It's just that shit. It's just like that.
Right.
And when you have that type of mind, you process stuff different. You know what I'm saying? So that process made it easy for you. You know what I'm saying?
I think that was the first time. In my life now, I done been celibate like at least 4 times. You know what I mean? That was the first time I was celibate.
Shit, that made the rest of the time easy one time.
Yeah, that one time. You know what I mean? It kind of set the tone. But I'm an advocate for therapy now. You know what I mean? 'Cause I definitely started going to therapy, and what my therapist always said was like, you know, I think you went through that because technically I wasn't never a virgin. You see what I'm saying? Like most people got the opportunity to like really break their virginity. You know what I mean? Because of my situation, of how mine happened, because I was young, I didn't never get the experience of, like, choosing when I'm about to have sex. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get that. Like, I got forced to be in a situation with a girl. They forced me to do it, and that was just that. And it was up from there. You know what I mean? Because once you tell a boy about sex, it's over with for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. We going to think about it every day, night, all the time. You know what I mean? So, for me, I didn't never have the opportunity. So, she always say, like, it's probably me, you know, trying to get that feeling of like, what would that be like? You know what I mean? That sense of purity,
Control,
and control of it.
No, definitely. So boom. So now you back. Boom. Relationships ain't working. You done tried 6 years of damn college trying to make this shit damn work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In between time, the music shit popping. You kind of get into the management job. I'm gonna say small A&R because that's what all this shit really is.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying? For So Deaf, you're speaking, you're doing all this shit. What's the next step mentally for you? What is your next vision? What is the next thing you want to do? Like, what are you telling yourself?
Really, at that point in time, it's like, when coming home from that, it was just like, I really hit a depression. I hit depression. I was just like, really like, what to do next, you know what I mean? Like, music was going well, like, everybody was getting deals, you know what I mean? All the artists I used to work with, everybody getting signed, you know what I mean? Like you said, everybody was getting signed like water. So it was like, but do you really, like, the reason I didn't commit to music so much is because I was on the label side. And seeing on the label side, I got to see like contracts and stuff. I got to see like a lot of stuff that didn't sit right with me, because like they were signing people that were my friends, or people was getting signed that I knew, and the contracts was some bullshit, really. You know what I mean? And it was so messed up, because to me, I'm like, all right, I gotta be with this person every day, or hang with this person, be this man rep or whatever, and I know he getting fucked. You know what I mean? That shit was messing with my heart. You know what I mean? It was just like my heart, it wasn't right, because it's like, if I'm with you every day and I know I'm the plug for the weed or whatever, and I give you the weed, but I know the nigga is really fucking you over. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's hard to just stand by and let it keep happening.
You know what I mean? So for me, I kind of like, music too dirty. Like, music just really dirty. And what really saved me was my nephew Quan and Jalen both came to me one day and was like, man, can you teach me how to run track? And I was like, They're like, man, we want to run. They were playing football. They were heavy in football. And they were like, man, we want to run, but nobody ain't into that. You know what I mean? Nobody can't teach me. So I was like, man, all right, cool. So got up, you know what I mean, coached them, man, I timed. I was like, but y'all slow as hell. You know what I mean? But kept training or whatever. I left, I think we had their first track meet, and I wasn't even there. Like, I had went out of town or something. I was doing something with music. And somebody called me and was like, man, nephew them just went crazy down here. Like, well, they just broke the record, all this. I'm like, what? Like, you think I ain't fast? They're like, bro, I'm seeing the video. You know what I mean? So seeing that, like, they end up, like, my nephew Quan was like, he ended up being like the #1 sprinter in the country. You know what I mean? Like, he was ranked, you know what I mean, before he broke all the records in DeKalb County. You know what I mean? Like, my nephew Jalen did the same thing. Like, both of them had full rides to wherever they wanted to go. You know what I mean? And I think that was the first time it was like, it clicked, and then I started getting more talent to come to me for track. So that started like, all right, this kind of cool. And what happened was, I got a really good team, and basically they let me go coach at the high school because so I could bring the boys up there.
What team that was?
That was at Creekside. That was the Titans track club. So because I brought my relay team up there, you know, from day one, we won state. You know what I mean? 4 years straight. You know what I mean? Like, and I was still coaching the track team. So finally, I was just like, all right, cool. You know, this a thing. This all right with me. Is it enough? I don't know. It felt like enough because all the kids, you know, you feel like you found your purpose. I was like, dang, all the time I found my purpose in these kids or whatever. End up moving, end up taking a break though. I was like trying to figure out like what I want to do next. I ended up taking a job and going back to school in Korea. I ended up moving to South Korea, moved to Daegu, Korea in 2000.
You know, you'll get the fuck on. You know, you'll go to some goddamn shit in some places, some niggas in the city be like, I ain't going there in my hell no. I went to South Korea.
Yeah.
How the hell you end up just picking South Korea?
Korea, man. I went, same thing, man. I went through one of those times where I was celibate for a year, trying to figure out some shit. And didn't even talk to my brother that year. You know what I mean? Like, it was a whole year just, I was about to be 25. And I was like, damn, like, what kind of man am I gonna be? You know what I mean? I was like, man, I need to figure out like what kind of man I'm gonna be without no distraction. Like, I don't want my brother to influence me. I don't want nobody to influence me. I need to be able to stand on my own too, so I need to set the tone. And I kind of just took a year sabbatical, no cell phone, no social media, no nothing. And when I came back, I kind of like had a vision of like, you know, what it was gonna look like. And I came back, started hanging with my cousins on Broad Street, and when I did that, you know what I mean, I started meeting different people. And one of my this girl that worked with me at the school, she was telling me about like, have you ever thought about like going overseas, working overseas? And I'm like, no.
She lined you up.
She lined me up. You know what I mean?
And you like, fuck this. South Korea?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, fuck this shit. I'm
I
trying
ended up getting high. I ended up applying and ended up getting hired randomly. And then it took me like about 5 months to really commit to it. You know what I mean? It took me like 5 months to really commit to it. And I wasn't going to commit to it. We was at Thanksgiving. And they were like, what you doing next? I was like, man, I'm going to move to Korea. They're like, boy, no. I like, yeah, I'm going to move to Korea.
That made you want to do it anymore.
Made me want to do it. When they told me no.
But I know the ambition.
Hey.
I'm going to tell you one thing about people with heavily driven ambition. You can just act like that's not a possibility and niggas gonna leap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like the Jordan effect. I call it the Jordan effect, just because it's that simple. Like how Jordan be walking and get ready to warm up, and he'll just act like somebody said something to him in the crowd.
Yeah. And
he'll just be like, "You said what? I ain't finna go 60. Who said that?"
Yeah.
And nobody ain't said nothing. He'll just go out there like that's that heavy ambition, dog.
Yeah, and that what really did. I moved to Korea, stayed over there, came back, and when I came back, really two things happened. When I came back, I had made a little money, so I was just chilling, and then my cousin Mark was cooking. He had opened up a restaurant. He was working at a restaurant in Roswell, and he said he needs some help.
Walk him on this side, right on the back door. Yeah. Should tell beating him open that door. Hey, yep.
So he said he needs some help. So I went over there, started helping him, you know what I mean, at the kitchen. You know what I mean? Because he
Hold on, give me a second real quick. I be saying everything, and I know it's a podcast, but in the apartment, and I be trying to tell people a lot of time, even when I be having business people over here, like, bro, I'm still in the apartment.
Yeah.
I bring people to my environment.
Right.
I don't bring people here. Then if the president here, I'm gonna be like, nigga, yeah, boy, welcome to the West Side. But I'm gonna tell you what's so funny, right? Because my man came here and threw me the pack. Your man was like, he was just like, just on camera like that? Nah, dog, in the apartment. This shit live. This shit like that what you thinking in your head?
I already know what that
Yeah, they in the apartment, dog. Hell yeah.
I don't mind none of that shit. You know, they're my cousins, so I want to be him all day long. You know what I mean? This apartment. This is his house.
The damn apartment. Listen, could you imagine, to Rick's side thing, could you imagine, how your auntie smoked cigarettes? And goddamn, you know how goddamn it, when your mama know y'all finna go to your auntie house, she should always like, you can't go in there. Don't be smoking a cigarette around the kid. Auntie be like, this is my motherfucking house.
Right.
I'm gonna smoke all this shit. Your auntie smoke a cigarette around you. Somebody you smoke around you. I don't ask you this a million goddamn times. You know why I ask you? You know what I'm saying? But hell yeah, but no, this how it is. Unless you're just in rehab or something like that.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? Hell yeah.
So I came back and ended up helping him at the restaurant. And
shout out to Mark, man.
Yeah, shout out to Mark.
He can cook like a something bitch too. I ain't gonna goddamn lie.
Hey, for real, man.
That nigga can cook, boy.
He can cook his ass off. Yep. So started cooking, went back to coaching, and the guy I was coaching with at first, he decided to he was saying he was gonna give me his program. He was like, well, look, you gonna take over the program, all that stuff. I had just got a coaching job at Carver High School, and
I remember that.
And I was gonna take over the program, but then I ended up bringing some coaches in. I brought some coaches in to kind of like help with the transition. Yeah, right before the next season, he was like, I ain't gonna give you the program. I'm giving it to somebody else. So at that point in time, you know,
dirty ass nigga, man. He dirty.
Hey, crazy, man. But it worked out. You know what I mean? God, it gonna work out anyway. So so at that point in time, you know what I mean, at that point in time, I was coaching football too. So all my athletes were like, "What you gonna do, coach? What you gonna do?" So I was like,
Where you coached at that year?
I was at Georgia Rattlers that year.
Yeah, Rattlers. I was gonna say it was some orange team, I remember.
Oh yeah, I was at Covington Bears first.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I was at Covington Bears. You know what I mean? And my first team was North Clay. My first coaching team was North Clay Eagles. That was my first team. Get it. Yeah, so that was my first team, North Clay. That was a really good team. What we went to, bro? The Frank Ski.
Frank Ski Bowl.
Yeah, Frank Ski Bowl. Ended up losing to Cam now. Henry County. That Henry County team that was undefeated for a long time.
Welcome to the Partments.
Welcome to the Partment.
Welcome to the Partments.
Hey.
Welcome to the Partments.
Yo, so yeah, man. So that happened, and that what made me really just start the nonprofit Attract Georgia. And how we end up connected. You know what I mean? Because I ended up having to put something in place for the kids. You know what I mean? They wanted me to coach them. You know what I mean? So really, I had like
15. You took over the nation, bro.
Exactly. I had 15
that's the
kids.
it, bro. That's the it, bro.
You just saying it.
No, for real, that's the it, bro. I'm just, no. I know they don't know, I'm okay. This nigga modest as shit. Keep telling y'all this shit. Now, listen. This nigga got down and get a track program, Track Georgia. God damn it. You know, city kids, these are all the hood kids. I ain't gonna say hood kids. I'm gonna say all the inner city kids. All the metro kids. He take all the metro kids, dog. All the kids who chase little Jimmy, little John, little Ricky, all them from the hood, who little fast, and this man take them, and this nigga win about fucking, how many nationals?
Yeah, we won like at least 18.
Like 18 of these bitches.
Yeah.
Back to back every year. Girls, 2-3 girl team, 2-3 boys team. The fastest, what they was, 8U or 10U?
I mean, all of
I know it's about on the record, the national record.
Oh, that was the 8U.
8U. Cause that's the year after. That's the year I said I'm gonna take my son over there.
Yeah.
That's the year. The 8U won national.
Yeah.
National, is that still the record?
Mm-hmm.
Still the fucking record. Some 8U kids, some straight. All these kid daddies project niggas.
Yeah.
All the kids on the team, daddy is project niggas. He take project niggas kids. All these niggas win the national. 8 years old.
Exactly.
That's special.
That was the whole thing.
18 nationals.
You gotta, and I put them in a situation, you know what I mean, to treat them like they were college kids. You know what I mean? Make sure they have warm-ups, you know what I mean?
Y'all would fly.
3-4 uniforms.
Yeah, y'all would fly.
Socks, you know what I mean? Headband, hats, you know. Nobody ain't never did that in track and field. No, they ain't even bring no light to track and field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you ain't lying.
So,
no, he did bring the swag.
Yeah.
You know, the track jugger had the outfits, the orange, the lime green, the yellow, the black, the pink ones, the white ones.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Sauce, they going to have the headbands on.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That changed.
Yeah, we used to be saucy, partner.
Exactly. Every time, bro, we stepping. We stepping out every time, man.
The varsity jackets, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, no, you did pipe on. Hell yeah, you brought that shit to track.
Bro, I brought a light to the whole track and field community. Now, before then, you know it wasn't no coaches. It wasn't even no coaches probably in their 30s coaching. I was still in my 20s. You know what I mean?
Over. Nigga mad, I remember.
Yeah. Cause they were like, what these young kids doing, you know what I mean? Like out here, like getting all these kids and everybody want to take my kids.
Sure
and all
did.
that stuff, you know what I mean? So it was just that though. You know what I mean? Like I don't
shit,
know
one of your kids just broke the freshman record.
KJ. Shout out to KJ.
Shout out to KJ, man. Shout out to Kai. She broke the freshman record.
Yep, shout out to Kai.
In the 100.
Yep, in the 100. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because like now they in high school and he probably like the best kids in the
nation. Facts.
Football wise, CJ. You know what I mean? CJ at Woodward. You know what I mean? Deuce over there at Douglas. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Jacob over there at Douglas too. You know what I mean? Like, we got plenty of kids at Buford and Carrollton and all these top schools. You know what I mean? So, that that just lead into something else, further. But doing that track program, that went really well. I end up doing that time. One of my coaches from Florida State ended up getting a job at the Atlanta Falcons, and ended up giving us. Well, we had a meeting, and he ended up giving me a job at the Atlanta Falcons. So I ended up doing marketing and stuff with the Falcons, and during that time, I just started seeing like
oh shit, it's a party.
It's a party tonight in the
It's a fucking party.
It's a
It's
party.
a party.
Red cup.
It's a party.
Hey, it going down. So yeah, man. So end up
Taking the job at the Falcons.
doing that for a while, and then the track team, everything was just too big. You know what I mean? We went from like 15 kids to 280 kids.
I remember.
You know what I mean? So I had to just shut everything, stop working at the Falcons, stop helping more cook, and
this nigga was a chef,
exactly.
and everything, man.
And just
Chris Tucker paid for
this
this nigga football, baseball. This nigga goddamn skipped 2 years of college and high school. He went to 3 high schools in a year. His coach hated on him, put him on defense. This nigga sent letters out to every 180 colleges. This nigga couldn't go to the college, didn't have scholarships, but track scholarship opened up. This nigga did 6 years of college. Boy, god damn it, bro. Shit, hey, dog. That's the it, bro. How the hell you end up in New York?
So when I was doing the track team and stuff, everything was going good. So we part of a publishing company, right? And this publishing company ended up opening up a studio in L.A. So we was out in L.A. for the Grammys, doing the Grammy party. And it was like a little joke being made, like, all right, what if we build a studio in New York? And my brother, Cheese, everybody, they like, yeah, that'd be cool.
I know Cheese with it.
Yeah.
But you can't get Cheese no idea. Say idea around Cheese, exactly. that the possibility in the money, and he gonna be like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm thinking about building this car. We can drive it to the motherfucking moon. Hell yeah. But goddamn, we can put some cheese.
But you know what's so crazy, though? Because when I was in school, when I was in college and all this stuff in Florida, I could not get him to leave Atlanta. That boy would not leave because he was making too much money in Atlanta. And I understand.
It'd be like that.
Now, like, after being older and getting the opportunity to travel and all this stuff, he like, why you ain't tell me this when you... I like, I kept telling you just to come. If you got out the little comfort zone, you would have seen. And that's what it take, you know what I mean, sometimes. So, fast forward, we in L.A. They say, let's build a studio in New York. I said, I don't want no parts of it. Y'all go about y'all business. A month later, they done found a place in New York, bought the studio, you know what I mean, buy the studio from Jeff Robinson, who was Alicia Keys' manager at NBK. We take over this whole place in New York City. Well, they take over it. I'm still running the track team. I'm going to nationals. They doing they having a whole like grand opening. I'm like, bro, I ain't going to nothing. I'm going to nationals with these kids doing this stuff. So I was helping somebody create a TV show randomly. So I was helping one of my friends who was a chef create a TV show, and we came up to New York to do 2 episodes of the show. During that week, I was up in New York. I had some free time, so I was like, I'm gonna come by the studio too. So I came by the studio, and everything was just kind of running bad. You know what I mean? The person who they had managing the studio, he was gone for the week. Had the interns running everything, and so I kind of like helped guide the ship at the studio and everything while I was there. So while I was there, the 2 partners, they brought me in the office and they were like, look, we understand why this ain't working. It's because you ain't involved. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so what that mean? They like, well, we offer you a salary, a moving stipend, housing, all this stuff if you move to New York to run everything. And I was like, oh, bro, I got this good thing going. You know what I mean? Like, with my track team, I had just opened up, like, the charter school portion with Alphabet House. I had just did the after-school program. I had just did the summer camp. I had just did all this stuff. You know what I mean? And we like optimum prime time right now. So I was just like, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if I want to do it. So I came back home. And was like, I'm gonna think about it. Then my brother Chi came back, bro. What you gonna do? Bro, you better go and do it, bro. Like, you ain't gonna get no opportunity like that, bro. Like, go and do it, bro. Like, these kids gonna be here. I'm like, man, I don't know about all this. So I'm like, I listened to him, but I'm like, let me just think about it. You know what I mean? So I waited. I was thinking, I prayed. I had to answer in like 48 hours. So prayed on it. I was like, try to get everything in line. Like, if I do go, who can run the team? Who can do this? Who can do that? So I kind of put people in place, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to take it. You know what I mean? I told him I'd move up there in like next week. You know what I mean? And yeah, so end up doing that, moving.
Cause you know I stay in New York. Now you stay in what?
Yeah.
I stay in New York. You gotta come by the studio.
Exactly.
That motherfucker player too.
So it was like overnight. It was really overnight. Like one day I was with the kids every day, you know what I mean, in this program, in the youth, and then next thing I'm in New York running the studio. And then at the studio, nothing was going on at the time, right? So they making like maybe like $3,000 a month now. You know, in New York, shoot, just to be where we was in Times Square, you know what I mean, like with staff, everything, it's $55,000. You know what I mean? And making 3 is 55. Just to break even, you got to make 55. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? So I go out. You know what I mean? I think JID, Earth Gang, they was in New York doing the show at SOB. JID, my little god brother. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna go to this show, and I'm just gonna meet some people. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna meet some people. So I go to the show, and I get in the corner and I ask the girl, I say, like, who all in here I need to meet? You know what I mean? Who all in here I need to talk to? Who of somebody in New York City that's doing something? And she pointed out like all these people. So shit, I went and met all the people. You know what I mean? I'm back to the wall. I ain't got nothing to lose. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming to do a turnover for a place that I ain't really want to be in anyway. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna find opportunity in anything I'm doing.
Find opportunity.
Heavy ambition.
Like just to do it. So I end up like meeting them people, and that kind of foundation of them people that night really kind of took me through New York City. And so I just started taking that method and coming up with ideas, talking to my brother Cheese, like how to bring in people, like what we gonna do.
So you mastermind the plan.
Yeah, man. So I started throwing like these parties, like free parties, like to bring the people to us instead of like I knew I couldn't get to enough people fast enough. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, how do I bring people to us? All right, let me throw free dope parties, you know, drinks, you know what I mean? Get the biggest influencers to come in. Cause I don't know nobody, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even know on social media like that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm doing this like I know, you know what I mean? Door to door. I'm going door to door, you know what I mean? I hear an event going, I'm going to the event, I'm getting backstage, I'm talking to the artist, come to the studio. You know what I mean? Look, come to the studio, I'll give you a couple of hours free, you know what I mean? Whatever. And start just building all that up and just doing that, you know, we end up doing like her first project, you know what I mean? Her whole first project, which everybody loved, you know what I mean? And Davies, Macy Gray, Remy Ma, IDK, I don't know, so many people.
These shits open the floodgates.
Open the floodgates, you know what I mean? Open the floodgates.
The whole E1 record.
Yeah, the whole E1 Records, you know what I mean? The whole, what's Thug them label? YSL, all of them. You know, everybody who came to New York,
they came record.
They came over there. You know what I mean? So that really,
damn, that's hard right there.
That's really how I got back looped into the music because I wouldn't.
So you back in the music now.
Back in
so
the
you
music.
This football track, boom, music, boom, more track, boom, fuck the music, more track,
exactly,
boom. You know, there's more music. So now, how the fuck did you get into movie managing?
So then, while I'm up there, just so happened, I'm there one night, and like, so I look at the schedules of everybody who coming in, right? So everything moving, you know, we got a steady roll of people coming in, and they like, all right, they got the thing slot say power coming in at 12 o'clock. I'm like, power, I don't know. Like, they coming to mix some music. I don't know what's going on with the TV show. I'm like, all right, cool. So I tell everybody, pretty much go home. It's a slow night. It's a weekday. So it's just me and the intern and the engineer. So, like, all right, cool, I'm chilling. So it's like about 2 o'clock now. Nobody still ain't came, but they were like, oh, he on the way. I like, all right. So somebody knock at the door. I go to the door. It's Ghost, right? I'm like, Ghost, power. Like, it's season 3. This like the biggest show in the world to me. Like, what's going on? Like, what he doing here? You know what I mean? And so, I don't say now. I just say, hey, welcome, whatever. He go in the studio, do his thing. He in there till like 5:30 in the morning. I wait up, you know what I mean? He come out, I give him a gift bag, say thank you, because I used to make sure, like my brother always told me, make sure we bring somebody in our house, you make sure.
And they got the sauce.
You appreciate it,
And they got the sauce. He need to write a sauce book, and I ain't talking about cookbook either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That nigga Cheese write a sauce book.
I had the whole.
Hold on. Shout out to my nigga Cheese, jump goddamn bump, my dog Cheese, man. Jump goddamn, man.
All day, so, it's etiquette, you know what I mean? Real player, you got to be a real player. You gotta have your etiquette, you know what I mean, with dealing with men. So, he came, I gave him a gift bag, sweater, all this stuff, you know what I mean, told him thank you for all the work. And he was like, where you from? I'm from Atlanta, from the east side, I'm from the same place. He's like, oh, for real? I'm like, yeah, man, your football coach was my track coach, you know what I mean? And he like, oh, for real? So we talk about it, woo, walk out. He like, man, I'm gonna come back. Like, cool. So he generally just started.
Hold on, stop it. Go back to what I said at the beginning of this motherfucking show. Remember what I said? It's something about motherfucking Atlanta, boy. It's something about the Atlanta, boy. It's something about this goddamn A. So you just so happy to meet another nigga from Atlanta who's on the biggest show in the world, and niggas don't even know that O from Atlanta.
Exactly.
Like, niggas don't even know that.
Exactly.
And it just so happened that y'all just have a connection in Atlanta. His football coach and track coach is the same person, bro. Like,
right.
That's powerful.
Right. That's crazy. So I didn't even, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, all right, cool. So he ended up just keep coming back. You know what I mean? I step in on some of his sessions sometime. He doing his spoken word and finding his way through music and all that stuff. And I just, talk to him and give him advice and things like that. And then a few months later, he just stopped me. He was like, look, I want you to be on my management team. And I was like, what? No. Like, why? Like, I got all this. Like, I'm managing this. Like, you know what I mean? I got a good thing going right here. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? He like, man, I like the way you move. I like how you handle yourself. You know what I mean? I like how you treat people. You know what I mean? You always got the best ideas. You know what I mean? I want you part of the team. I was like, man, give me some time. Let me think about it.
Here you go again.
And so I finally said yes, and we just started working. And then he was planning for his one-man show. And so we was doing his one-man show, and I wasn't even the main producer on the show because at the time he was signed to like Rock Nation or something. And, he had all these big heavy hitters on the time. But every day I was there working. You know what I'm saying? So every day I was just doing everything that was needed, whatever. At the end of the show, he was kind of upset about how some people played their position or whatever. He ended up firing everybody. And I was the only one left. You know what I mean? So it just was like, hey, I'm here. Like, what we doing?
Hello.
You know what I mean? I'm here. Like, what we doing? So, walking me through that, and then the studio ended up closing. Like, the studio, they ended up something had happened, so they wanted to downsize, and so like basically like overnight I ended up losing my job, my salary, my place, everything. So now I'm at like the point where like, all right, what to do? Like, I got the biggest artist on TV right now, right? But I ain't got no job now because at first I didn't need him for nothing. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't need him. I had a salary, all that stuff. I didn't need him. So now it's like I had the biggest artist. Now my housing gone, my job gone, now my whole baseline in New York gone. What do I do? So I make a call, you know what I mean, talk to my mama, and she like, I tell her what's going on. She like, what you gonna do? I said, yeah, I'm just fight. I'm just fight it out. Like, I stay in the shelter. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I was never trying to move to New York. You know what I mean? Some God led me here, so I ain't even got close enough to see what he led me to. So I gotta push a little harder. And so that happened. You know what I mean? I was homeless, going to meetings like, y'all don't understand. Like, I'm in a meeting with Tyler Perry, all these people, and I'm trying to like see if, and it wasn't even because of the money homeless. It was because of New York ain't built like Atlanta homeless. You see what I'm saying? Like,
that shit costs so dumb.
I didn't even know how to get a place really, because here you go to a leasing office. You see what I'm saying? Leasing office, they'll tell you what they got. In New York, you got to go hire a broker. You got to hire a real estate agent just for a rental. And I'm like, what? And then for what I wanted, because like they were like, what you need? So my needs, I'm like, oh, I need a gym. I need this. Lady on saying, she's like, okay. She come back. My first showings, nigga, everything 10,000 plus. I'm like, how much you got to put down? Oh, you got to put up first month, last month, broker fee, and deposit. You 40 grand off rip just to rent a place. I said, boy, I don't. who can do this off rip? Like, that's a whole gamble, especially when you don't know where your check coming at. So I'm like, bro, I can't spend that much money at one time. It's over. It's over, because one thing go wrong, it's over. So I was like, look, I'm just do what I got to do. So I was catching train to D.C., you know what I mean, sleep on the train, go to my partner Sid's house, come back, sleep, go to a meeting with Omari, do whatever he needed to do, like just doing that circle until I really like was just, you know what I mean, finding my way into that new management role. I ended up picking up like 2 more artists. You know, one artist got signed, so he gets signed. The label tell the dad to fire me, you know what I mean, because he don't need no manager, you know what I mean, like, I'm just like, all right, pick up somebody else, you know what I mean? Next artist going on tour with Dave East, you know what I mean, doing that stuff, you know. So I'm like, I finally got me a place in New York City, you know what I mean? Omari don't know none of this the whole time, because I'm like, nigga, that ain't even etiquette, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you don't supposed to worry about nobody around you but you. You see what I'm saying? That's how you be the best artist you got to be. Soon as you open up that, like, a person might help you, they're going to be the last time they might help you too. You see what I'm saying? Because they'll help you and be like, you know, you ain't ready for this part of life. You know what I mean? Just being honest. Because you don't become an asset to them, you become a liability. Because if a person don't have nothing to offer to the situation, your brain could go anywhere and take from the situation. Fact. And now you mess up the whole brand. So my whole thing was like, look, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna stay strong, go through mine, and what I gotta do, I'm gonna make sure I execute. That's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? No matter what I go through, you gotta execute. You know what I mean? So that's the whole difference between good and great. You know what I mean? Only reason great people become great is because they execute at a high level. You know what I mean? It's nothing different. You know what I mean? So I like just keep executing. And so finally got my place, went through that, and came January, I was like, all right, I'm gonna invest this money I got. You know what I mean? Like, now I can go ahead and invest because I need to figure out how to flip it. Because the money ain't coming in fast now, I need to figure out how to flip it. So invest in 2 big opportunities, you know what I mean? It was like Super Bowl in Atlanta. So I invested in a whole bunch of stuff down here. And then New Year's Eve party, big New Year's Eve party. Like, I'm going to flip this money on this party, going to get this artist, do all this stuff. Both of them was a bust. Everything went wrong. I ain't make a dime. Lost everything. My assistant had stole like a 20 from me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but I ain't got a dime. Now I had money with no place. I got a place, I ain't got no money. I'm like, bro, what is going on? And so, granted that happened. I go back to New York. I still pay all my people though. Everybody work for me, I pay them. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay rent, but I'm gonna pay these folks. So pay them. I go back, My homegirl gave me a ticket to LA. I got to go to LA for the Grammys. Go to the Grammys, and this the first year hers at the Grammys, right? So we go. Everybody know the story. Everybody win 2 Grammys or whatever. For some reason, it didn't sit right with me. Like, everybody was like, cool, everybody happy and joyous and everything. For some reason, it hit me different. It was like, bro, these awards don't do a damn thing. Like, this don't do nothing. Y'all know I'm going to be back on this flight. I ain't got no money to pay rent. I'm late. I'm like, that day I got off social media. Cut off my social media. I like, bro, you know what? I need you at work. I like, my focus don't need to be nowhere about celebratory, no nothing. I'm here to work. And I need to figure out the right thing to do and where I need to go. So I got off social media.
What was the first thing you did?
First thing I did, I went back and wrote a plan out. I just wrote a plan and was like, all right, these the way I can use my asset, which is my clients, to make money, right? So I got to figure out how to do that. You know what I mean? Instead of like always just being an asset to them, I got to figure out how to make my clients an asset to me too. You know what I mean? So I did that. And the crazy thing is I was depressed and stuff. And the crazy thing that God, I always come back, because while I was going through that, I started getting random text messages from people like I ain't even really talked to like that. They was just texting me, but they was texting me screenshots of stuff I had posted already. And I'm like, how y'all getting this? Like, I ain't on social media. You know what I mean? But they had already saved it. You know what I mean? And it was like messages that end up being for me. You know what I mean? That really were like, you know, I was like, damn, like, that's real. Like, I got to make sure I think like this. So I started Googling churches by me, just walking to the church, going to that. And just really, that what really got me out the black hole. You know what I mean?
And then find that connection again.
Find that connection. You know what I mean? Just knowing people was pointing to me, you know what I mean, in a real way, outside of just like social media or anything else. Like, I don't want no congratulations. I don't want none of that stuff. Like knowing that it's something real, you know what I mean? And people actually care about you in a real way, you know what I mean? So that happened. And then during that time, you know, I'm still working. End up getting introduced to somebody who end up now is my future wife. You know what I mean?
Congratulations too.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I got introduced to her during this time, and I told her, you know what I mean? I told her during this time, I said, I ain't dating. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't dating. Like, you could do what you want to do. Like, I'm just here to be your friend. Like, I got other things to focus on. You know what I mean? But I'll be here to be your friend, or you need advice or whatever. I'm cool. You know what I mean? Because I had this rule. I had set up this rule. As you know, like I told you back when I went celibate and all that other stuff, I had set up this whole rule. Like, it was like a 1-year rule where I wouldn't date nobody unless I knew you for 1 year in my life. You know what I mean? And she was like, why you would do that? I said, man, because I'm just from the hood. And granted, like, somebody could be around you for 6 months and just set you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll lay on you. You know what I'm saying? And people do that in relationships and everything too.
Facts. So
I felt like, look, I know I'm special. You know what I mean? And I know nothing on this earth gonna keep me from going where I gotta go. You know what I mean? And so if we gonna have this connection, I gotta know that you worth it. Because when I love or when I give, I give a lot. You know what I mean? And it's gonna take a little attention off my career. So I gotta know you worth that too. You know what I mean? So you gotta be in my life for over a year before I even look at you in that way. And that's what happened, man. We kind of built that friendship. And everything over that year. And, you know, the next year we I end up asking to be my girl or whatever. And then, you know, that changed a lot. You know what I mean? My prayers and all that stuff too, because it seemed like I told God to make sure I was ready for anything and make sure he prepared me for the table, you know what I mean? Because I got to be the leader and all this. And that helped. That, I don't know what happened, but
all this stuff you got you prepared for,
you know what I mean?
From
like,
dog.
Just after,
Definitely.
like just after, like, I started getting so many, like, people wanted me to manage them. I started picking up so many clients, and then, you know, all them relationships from, like, me meeting executives with Omari start opening up. You know what I mean? They started inviting me to dinners and started wanting me to, like, create TV shows. And
That's it, bro.
Yeah,
That's that it, bro. That's that it, bro. That's that it, bro. It's probably a million more it stories that you could have goddamn told today, dog. Man, listen, dog. I just want to say appreciate you for taking your time out, dog.
Nah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of stuff. This interview done it like a book. Like you can sit down here and decipher a lot of things that'll help you with your life. You know what I'm saying? No, regardless of whatever walk that you do. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's why I knew that having you here was gonna be something different and something special for everybody. So I just want to say appreciate you taking your time out, dog. I don't tell everybody where they can follow you at.
Hey, you can definitely follow me. Louis, TWOLEWIS _ Louis on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know, and we follow the management company, Owners District, spelled just like I sound, Owners District. And look, and On Track Georgia. Just look at trackgeorgia.com.
Definitely. Man, appreciate you taking your time out. Till motherfucking next time, man. When the Partments with Parlay. Meet me in the Partments.